You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5. Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate Weekly Bulletin. You're joined by all three of us once again. Clancy Overell, myself, that is. Errol Parker, editor-at-large, and of course Wendell Hussey, our cadet cum newsreader. How are you all, gentlemen?
I'm all right, mate. Just got my first AstraZeneca.
Well, he's crumbled. He's crumbled.
Yeah, well, I was doing my own research into the vaccines, and I thought, as I don't have much in the way of, any life savings or some super, I thought I'd get the AstraZeneca and prayed to God that I got a blood clot.
Okay, that's it's pretty dark.
Like into my heart and lungs.
Yeah, that's dark.
Insurance
dark
fraud
way
there.
Dark way to start the podcast. I guess you could sue the government for a fucking shitload, and that'd be great for your fatherless kids you've left strewn across the Channel country.
I was just thinking that I'd just be lying in bed and you're like, oh man, this heartburn's really bad, and then I go to bed and then I just don't wake up.
We don't need to be too morbid. Wendell, how's things going with you?
Yeah, very good, mate. Looking forward to a big weekend of footy. Mutts on the Saturday, Dolphins on the Sunday. Up to Boulia there at the bus trip on Saturday, which should be a lot of fun. We inflicted a humiliating defeat on them last time. I think we went up 7-0, scored an early try, and then lost.
Enough about the glory days. Let's
42-7, I think, but it was still a humiliating victory.
Let's get into the news, mate.
Righto, we'll start off with some news from Canberra. It's been a tricky week, and the government has been unable to get their head around the fact that there's losers who still live week to week.
I mean, just get it together. I mean, how hard is it to get a high-paying job in the public service or anything, With Melbourne staying in lockdown for yet another week, the federal government has to contemplate whether they want to do something about all these povo people who live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, somehow someone in Parliament House must have told them that a fair few people do live that way, and there's votes in appealing to those people. So they have since reluctantly introduced a disaster payment for people who have to lock down for more than 7 days. Yeah, the wonders never cease. The detached political class, we should drain the swamp, poison the trough, line them up against the wall, blindfold them, and fire hollow point bullets into their chests.
Sign me up. Now, the other problem the government's had to deal with this week is the slow uptake of the vaccine. The health minister's come out and encouraged Australians to get their jab by offering them a free Age of Empires 2 CD.
Yes, it's a trick as old as time. The people in charge of our public health policy are obviously facing a wave of vaccine skepticism. Some might say it was fueled by the Prime Minister actually undermining the trust in this AstraZeneca vaccine so that he could buy time for the rollout. And that's come back to bite them, as so many of these knee-jerk decisions do. They've had to find a new way to fix this tricky situation. So they've followed the Kellogg's model and thrown a free computer game in the box.
Yeah, no, my nephews used to love that game. Not sure if it'll cut through with the Mulliman and Byron crowd, but look, they might need some free beauty products or some incense or, some pot.
Or cut off their childcare payments or
the
move
Kevin
access
Rudd
to
model.
public health care.
Yep. Bit of eco-fashion from Kevin Rudd. It always worked the treat up there in the Northern Rivers.
And then you've got all those inner-city yuppies that look back on the Kevin Rudd days with rose-tinted glasses.
Just remember, he did let kids starve without educations in an effort to educate them.
We're going to wrap up our political news for the week with a story about an innocent man deciding not to have any more facts reported on his past.
If you missed the round-the-wicket leg break from Christian Porter this week, the former Attorney General has claimed he forced the ABC into a humiliating backdown on his defamation case.
Yes, despite receiving no payout and no apology, Porter has claimed victory in the legal matter he dropped before it was heard in court, which may have something to do with the ABC's 27 redacted pages that would have been reported in the public domain. Maybe not. Who knows? I've heard he's also claimed victory over the Western Australian emus, the 900,000 wild emus living in Western Australia. He says that they've won the Great Emu War. He's also claimed victory over some stoners down the street in Mario Kart after turning off the Nintendo mid-race. He's just winning, and he'll probably win again next election, he reckons.
Yeah, and we definitely don't need to have that public inquiry into his behaviour because he's had this defamation case all sorted. So it's all done and buried now. And some news in town. A local bushie has hit out at those gym junkies in the city, saying they aren't farm strong like him.
Yeah, bit of a scene out at Moonda Station out the back of Betoota Plains this weekend with a new hire causing some heated conversation. He's a big lump of a fellow who, to the untrained eye, might look like he would be able to cut through high tensile steel with one hand. But according to the station manager out there, Dennis, that's not the case.
No. It's all beach weights for this new bloke, says Dennis, because he's seen these gym junkies before, and none of them are functionally strong like him. That wiry kind of strong.
And we'll round out the week with another local story. A millennial has revealed she can't afford to buy a home after spending all her money bailing out Jerry Harvey.
Yeah, Jerry Harvey's complaining about getting cancelled this week. The old rich lister is under fire for pocketing millions and millions of dollars in corporate welfare despite making some serious bank during the Pangolin's curse.
Yes, $900 million in profits over the last 18 months to be exact, with a handy $78 million pocketed by the man himself in dividends. He is now refusing to give back any JobKeeper payments that Harvey Norman may have received, because who's going to fucking make him?
Well, mate, unless, we do have a kind of a Mark David Chapman type thing happen, I don't think there's going to be any justice here.
No. And, France, I think the last guillotine was
1978.
1978 was the last guillotine in France. So that's out of the option too, unless we bring it back. Maybe this is a job for Bob Catter. He can keep these bastards honest. I know he told me that he buried his SKS in some polypipe out the back of fucking his nephew's place there in the Curry. So maybe that's the way we go. Maybe that's the way we go here with Jerry.
We're going to shoot him.
We're going to get Bob to.
Well, he's certainly got a track record of killing people from both sides of politics, doesn't he, mate?
Yeah, no.
Very controversial video that he made with us a couple years ago.
Let's get someone to plant that seed in Bob's head, and if you've got any innovative ideas at home, you just let us know. Anyway, that's all for the Weekly Bulletin this week. Enjoy your weekends, however you spend them. Talk to you soon.
Hooroo!